Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at American Mythology Monsters Issue 2. This is a 3-part miniseries from American Mythology from 2021, and this is part 2 of 3 different stories, because this is an anthology. Part 2 of The Bite, written by Gleann, Moane, art by Demi, Mandir, letters by Natalie Jane, Part 2 by Konstantine, Paradias, art by Cantada, letters by Natalie Jane, and Safiya, written by Michael Gordon, art by Dan Parsons, letters by Natalie Jane. Main cover by Mike Wolfer and Arthur Hesli. Cover's okay. It really kind of relates here, but not entirely. So the bite is picking up with the victim wandering around. He's lost his job after being discovered naked, and it's a little slow going. His credit cards don't work. He's broke, but then he has an episode at a convenience store, and it gets crazy. It's got some really good monster art, but the other looks a little bit sketchy. So I thought the monster looked really cool, but it's a little too undefined on some of the features and just a little abstract at times, but it's got potential. I just think the artist needs to work on features a little more. The second story has a similar problem, except this one is parts, and it's about the guy wanting body parts replaced with like cybernetics, and he gets weapons upgrades. He looks very, very crazy. One of the scientists tries to fight back, and it causes problems for the third scientist, and they try and use a dead body slash cyborg thing to stop him. It's leading into the final installment. This art is also a little bit sketchy, does need a little bit of refinement, but the monster looked really good as well. And the backgrounds looked really, really good too. So I think the facial features just need a little bit more definition, but this one art-wise is better. I just didn't enjoy the story as much. The third one, Safiya, is about the mummies. And the mummy grabs one of the female scientists and sends her on a little history tour, and it was okay. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it wasn't bad. The art's pretty solid for the style it's in. They all have that sort of feeling of the old Warren comic magazines. I think these would have been better as single issue stories. It would have given them time to breathe and elaborate on things, and it would have provided a more cohesive story. Because if you pull this out of a bin somewhere, it's going to make almost no sense. There's 3 partial stories here. There's no complete stories. I get what they were going for. I just don't like that kind of format. It didn't really work that well for me in Marvel Comics Presents back in the day, but I understand what they're doing. I just think 3 one-shots or have an ongoing series with single issue stories would have been a better approach for this, because then you would have got more people impulse shopping and picking it up because they know it's a complete story. But I will recommend it. You could probably find it in the discount bin somewhere, but I didn't have a problem with it overall. I thought it was entertaining. Not typically my type of comic, but I'll recommend it if you can find it for a reasonable price. I didn't feel cheated for the cover, but I think some of the art needs a little work. But beyond that, not really bad stories, just not entirely my genre. But if you like horror comics, this will probably be for you. That'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.